Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, my students? I hope that you're happy and healthy and ready for today's lesson, which is Unit 3, Conversation. The conversation of Unit 3. If you remember our previous lesson, the grammar, we learned about the order of the adjectives when we want to describe something using 2 or 3 adjectives, beginning with opinion, like expensive, size or shape, like large, then age, like young or ancient, then color, like red or blue or turquoise, then nationality, Saudi Arabian, British, and the last one is material. So we have to go by this order. For example, the beautiful old stone house. Then we learned about to and enough, whether they come before the adjective or after the adjective or the adverb. For example, here you're talking too loudly, or she's too short. Then we learned about enough placed after adjectives. For example, she's not tall enough. Then we learned the phrase to using to and enough followed by an infinitive. For example, you're not well enough to go to work. You're not well enough health-wise to go to work. Then we learned that to means more than enough, more than is necessary or wanted. Enough means sufficient, the amount of something that is needed. So this is today's objectives. Use the real talk phrases in new sentences. Use the new phrases in a conversation. Answer questions about the conversation. So we'll be reading a conversation, then answering some questions about it, and also about the real talk. So college, university life. The college or the university life when you graduate, inshallah. Then you go to college or university. What lifestyle will you be having? In the US, it is common for students to go away from home for college or university studies. Many students live on campus or in dormitories or other housing facilities for students. Some schools allow students to live off campus in their own apartments if they can afford it. So some students who don't live in the same city as the university that is located, they live in dorms inside the university campus, or if they prefer to live off the university campus, but they have to pay the rent for the apartments, of course. Do college and university students in this community usually live with their families? Why or why not? Where do they live if they come from another town or city? So, do college and university students in this community here usually live with their families? Why or why not? Of course, if the university is in the same city as their families, of course they'll be living with their families, or even if it's in a village nearby. But if they're coming from a long distance, of course they'll be living in either an apartment or inside the university campus dormitories, of course. Where do they live if they come from another town or city? As I said earlier, they'll be living off campus in some apartments, or they will be living inside the campus, the university campus, inside the dorms. So listen with your books closed. So now close your books and just listen for the conversation between Ahmed and Hamid. We'll be talking about accommodation in universities and what lifestyle they would be having in the college or university life. So let's listen here together.
Ahmed, where are you going to live when you start college in the fall? Hamid, I don't want to live on campus. There is too much noise when you're trying to study, and there aren't enough places to go when you want to socialize. So, I'm going to get an apartment off campus. Ahmed, cool. What kind of apartment do you have in mind? Hamid, well, I'm hoping to find a large, modern place with an extra bedroom for visitors. It has to have parking, and of course, it has to have a washer and dryer. Ahmed, hold on. Do you have enough money for an apartment like that?
So here Ahmed is asking his friend Hamid where would he live when he goes to university. Will he be living inside the campus, the dorms, or would he would go outside or off campus to go to some apartment. Hamid says, I don't want to live on campus. There's too much noise when you're trying to study, and there aren't enough places to go when you want to socialize. So he decided to go off campus looking for some apartment. His friend Ahmed finds it cool, and he's asking what kind of apartment you would be having. So Hamid replied, I'm hoping to find large modern place with extra bedrooms for visitors. So maybe he's expecting his family or friends. It has it has to have parking, and of course a washer and a dryer. And of course all of these must be, the apartment must be very expensive to have all of these facilities. That's why Ahmed says, hold on, do you have enough money for an apartment like that? So he's asking, do you have enough money for the rent for the apartment? Let's continue and find out what is the answer.
Hamid, why? Do you think it would be very expensive? Ahmed, you are clearly out of touch with rental prices. You need a reality check. An apartment like that will cost an arm and a leg. Hamid, like how much? Ahmed, we're talking mega bucks, maybe 15 grand a month. Hamid, 15,000 reals. I had no idea. I thought it would be a lot less than that. Ahmed, only if you want to live in a tiny apartment way outside of the city. Hamid, well, maybe I shouldn't be in such a rush to move out. I could live at home with my parents just for the first year.
So here Hamid replies, why do you think it would be very expensive? So now we know that Hamid doesn't know the rental prices for the apartments. He says, you are clearly out of touch with rental prices. You're clearly out of touch. You don't know the rental prices. You need a reality check. You need someone to tell you what's happening. An apartment like that will cost an arm and a leg. Of course, we'll be learning later what's the meaning of an arm and a leg. Like how much? We're talking megabucks. Megabucks. From the word itself, you know that's too much money. Maybe 15 grand a month. 15,000, I had no idea. So that's out of touch. So he has no idea. I thought it would be a lot less than that. So later he decided to stay with his family until he plans what to do further. So what did you understand from the conversation? What did you understand from the conversation? Try to discuss with your colleague, what did you understand from this conversation? Listen and read along. Now I want you to listen and read along with the conversation. Let's listen again.
Ahmed, where are you going to live when you start college in the fall? Hamid, I don't want to live on campus. There is too much noise when you're trying to study, and there aren't enough places to go when you want to socialize. So, I'm going to get an apartment off campus. Ahmed, cool. What kind of apartment do you have in mind? Hamid, well, I'm hoping to find a large, modern place with an extra bedroom for visitors. It has to have parking, and of course, it has to have a washer and dryer. Ahmed, hold on. Do you have enough money for an apartment like that? Hamid, why? Do you think it would be very expensive? Ahmed, you are clearly out of touch with rental prices. You need a reality check. An apartment like that will cost an arm and a leg. Hamid, like how much? Ahmed, we're talking megabucks, maybe 15 grand a month. Hamid, 15,000 reals. I had no idea. I thought it would be a lot less than that. Ahmed, only if you want to live in a tiny apartment way outside of the city. Hamid, well, maybe I shouldn't be in such a rush to move out. I could live at home with my parents just for the first year.
So at the ending of this conversation, we can see Ahmed is telling his friend, if you want an apartment with the money that you're talking about, you can live in a tiny apartment. Here he says, only if you want to live in a tiny apartment way outside the city, not a large one with the parking, just as Hamid said. That's why Hamid here decided, maybe I shouldn't be in such a rush to move out. I could live at home with my parents just for the first year. So let's read the real talk here. The real talk. Cool. when someone says to something cool, describing it as cool, it means that it's great. When you say it, or when you say something, when you say about something that it's cool, it means that it's great. Hold on, stop for a moment when someone is talking and then you say hold on. It means to stop talking, stop for a moment. Hold on, it means stop for a moment. Out of touch, don't have a realistic idea. Out of touch, don't have a realistic idea, don't know what's happening. So when you say about someone that he's out of touch about something, it means that he doesn't have any idea about this thing. That's why it says here, he don't have a realistic idea about something. Reality check, an assessment of how realistic something is. Reality check, an assessment of how realistic something is. An arm and a leg, a large amount of money. An arm and a leg, it means a large amount of money. If you see something very expensive, you would say, for example, a car, a very expensive car, you will say, this car would cost me an arm and a leg. It means that it's too expensive. Megabucks, large amount of money. Grand, thousand. When you say 1 grand, 2 grand, 15 grand, it's the same as saying 1,000, 2,000, 15,000, and so on. Ahmed is the one who uses all of these expressions. Why he says each of the following? So Ahmed is the one who says cool, hold on, out of touch, and reality check, an arm and a leg, megabucks, and the word grand. So all of these, Ahmed is the one who says them. So why he says each of them? The word cool. Why does Ahmed say cool? When he said cool, why is that? Let's check the answer here together. At first, Ahmed thinks that Hamid's idea about the apartment is great. So, because when Hamid says that he wants an apartment, a large apartment, so Ahmed says it's cool. Then he found out that Hamid doesn't know anything about renting apartments. Hold on. So, when he said hold on, why did he say hold on to Hamid? Let's check the correct answer here. When Ahmed hears more about his plans, he tells him to stop talking for a minute, because Hamid thought that large apartments with parking and washing machines would be cheap. He said, hold on, you need a reality check, which comes after here. Out of touch and reality check. Why does Ahmed say these expressions to Hamid? Out of touch and reality check. Let's check the answer here. Ahmed uses both of these expressions to tell Hamid that his plans aren't realistic, that his plans are delusional, they're not real. He said, as he says here, out of touch, not real, not connected with the reality. And he says also, reality check. It means that you need to look for the facts, the reality check, look for the prices for apartments to rent. An arm and a leg and megabucks. Why did Ahmed says it will cost you an arm and a leg and megabucks? So Ahmed is telling Hamid that the kind of apartment he wants will be very expensive. The kind of apartment that he wants, a large apartment with parking and all of these facilities, would be very expensive, would cost him an arm and a leg, or would cost him megabucks. And the word grand here, this is an informal expression for 1,000 riyals. So the word grand is informal. Informal. If you want to use the formal language, you would say 1,000. 2,000 is formal. 2 grand is informal. From your experience, so these are some questions to discuss with your friends from your experience here. What do you think is cool? Anything. What is something that you or your colleague find cool? Discuss it with your friend. Do you ever feel that you're out of touch with something? Do you ever feel that you're out of touch, you don't understand, you're disconnected from something, out of touch with something? When you would tell, would you tell someone that they need a reality check? When do you think that you need to tell someone you need a reality check? So discuss this with your colleague. What would you describe as costing an arm and a leg or megabucks? What would you describe that something would cost an arm and a leg or megabucks? For example, an expensive house or an expensive car. What would you describe something that would cost an arm and a leg? So about the conversation, the questions here, let's answer them together. What kind of apartment is Hamid looking for? Hamid is looking for an apartment off campus, of course, and he's dreaming, as we read before, about an apartment. What kind of apartment is Hamid looking for? You can go back to the conversation and come here to answer the question. So let's check the correct answer here. He wants a large modern apartment off campus with an extra bedroom for visitors, as he said, parking, and a washer and also a dryer. So he wants all of these. He wants a large modern apartment off campus with an extra bedroom, parking, and a washer and a dryer. So this is the kind of apartment Hamid is looking for. Number 2, why does Ahmed tell Hamid that he needs a reality check? Why does Ahmed tell Hamid that he needs a reality check? Why did he do that? So let's check the correct answer here. He will not be able to afford an apartment like that, because Hamid thought that an apartment like that, a large apartment with parking and washing and a washer and also a dryer with an extra bedroom, would be cheap. Also it be near campus. So he told him that he needs a reality check. What decision does Hamid make at the end of the conversation? When Hamid received the reality check in the conversation, what did he decide? What decision does Hamid make at the end of the conversation? At the end of the conversation, Hamid decided something. What was it? Let's check the correct answer here. He decides to keep living at home for another year. That's correct. He decided to continue living with his parents for another year until he maybe sees what the correct apartment for him, that the rent will be suitable for him. In your turn here, role play with a partner. Tell your partner about something you are looking for, such as a university or a new computer. Use phrases from the box. Your partner will ask questions to find out more information. Again, role play with a partner. Tell your partner about something you're looking for. Maybe it's a university or a new computer, a new car, anything. Use phrases from the box. Your partner will ask questions to find out more information. So this is the box here. Describe what you are looking for. So if you want to describe what you are looking for, you can use these sentences. I'm looking for something. What I have in mind is, I have my heart set on. So you use these sentences to describe what you are looking for. I'm looking for a sports car, for example. What I have in mind is a yellow car. Or you can say, I have my heart set on the blue car, for example. Also, I'd love to find, I'm hoping to find, it's essential that I find. You can use all of these sentences to describe what you are looking for, either with your friend or if you are at the shop trying to looking for something, and you can describe it for the shop owner to help you. So the question here, which expression does Hamid use in the conversation? Which of these expressions, we have 6 expressions here, which one did Hamid use in the conversation? You can get back to the conversation and check. Okay, let's see the correct answer here. He used I'm hoping to find. He used I'm hoping to find. And with that, we reach the end of this lesson. See you next lesson, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.